Hollow Pines was a forgotten village, nestled between brooding mountains and a pine forest that never stopped whispering. It was a place of superstition and silence, where truth was often buried deeper than the dead. The people there did not ask too many questions. They did not want to know what lived in the dark. In this village, a girl named Elira was born. Elira was the kind of girl who looked like moonlight might have kissed her skin. Her hair was a pale auburn that shimmered gold in the sun, and her eyes, one green, one gray, seemed to see too much. From the moment she could walk, she wandered barefoot in the woods, listening to the trees. She spoke to crows and collected bones and feathers like others collected coins. The villagers whispered. They always whispered. She's not right. She was born under a blood moon. She talks to things no one sees. But no one ever said anything to her face. Her mother, Maria, was a widow with rough hands and a softer heart. She never tried to stop Elira's strange ways. The world fears what it doesn't understand, Maria would say, brushing the girl's hair in front of their fire. But fear isn't always truth. Elira believed her. Until the fire came. By her 15th year, Elira had grown tall and sharp. She smiled rarely, but when she did, it was like lightning through clouds. Children followed her at a distance, half afraid, half enchanted. The elders watched her like a storm they couldn't predict. That winter was crueler than most. The crops died under frost, animals disappeared, and a strange sickness took 3 children in 1 week. Hollow Pines needed someone to blame. In a place that had forgotten reason, superstition was fuel, and Elira was made of dry kindling. The church bell tolled one morning, not for service, but for trial. A gathering. The whole village stood in the square, wrapped in coats and fear. Maria held her daughter's hand too tightly. Elira, calm, watched as the new priest, Father Van, took to the wooden platform in the center. He was not like the old priest, who had died the year before. Father Van's sermons were fire and judgment. He spoke of devils in disguise, of witches walking in daylight. He had noticed Elira from his first day. And he had watched her. Now he pointed a crooked finger toward her. There is a poison among us, he said. A soul who has consorted with darkness. Who whispers to beasts and calls shadows by name. God has shown me a vision. The girl. The widow's daughter. The villagers gasped. Elira felt the air go out of her lungs. Maria stepped forward. She is no witch. She's just a girl. But Elira knew, even before it began, that it was already over. There was no trial, not really. A boy claimed he saw her walking on the river, on the ice, but said she didn't sink. A woman swore her goats stopped giving milk after Elira passed by. A child said Elira's shadow once moved when she stood still. That was enough. Maria wept and begged. But the villagers held their torches tightly, afraid of their own shadows. The pyre was built from dry pine and the pages of books too old to read. Elira did not scream when they tied her to the post. She looked at the faces around her, people who once accepted bread from her hands. She saw fear. Not hatred. Not cruelty. Just fear, twisted into obedience. Father Van raised his hand, and fire licked the edges of the wood. Maria lunged and was held back. Elira, with the flames crawling toward her, lifted her head to the sky. She did not scream. She sang. A strange, low song, wordless and ancient. The fire took her. But her voice echoed long after the flames died. The wind blew the ashes of Elira into the forest, into the trees that never stopped whispering. The villagers went back to their homes, and for a while, things were quiet. Then the forest began to change. The pines grew darker. The birds stopped singing. The river ran red one morning, thick with iron, and the fish floated belly up. Children whispered of a girl with ash-gray skin standing at the tree line, watching. Maria would sit by the edge of the woods every evening. She never moved. Just stared into the trees, waiting. Father Van preached harder, louder. But fewer people came to listen. Some nights, the church door swung open by itself, and the candles went out. One night, Father Van vanished. His robes were found torn, stuck in the brambles outside the village. No one ever found his body. The villagers didn't ask questions. A year passed. Then 2. And still, the forest crept closer. Trees now grew at the edge of the village square. Crows perched on the rooftops, watching with gleaming eyes. Babies cried at strange hours. People dreamed of smoke and song. Elira's song. On the 3rd anniversary of her burning, Maria walked into the woods and did not return. That night, every lantern in Hollow Pines went out. And in the silence, someone heard laughter. Soft. Sad. And then came the fire. Not from below, but above. From the sky. Red as blood. Hot as guilt. The village burned in silence, house by house, but no screams were heard. In the morning, there was nothing left but ash. They say if you walk too deep into the forest near where Hollow Pines once stood, the trees whisper your name. The wind carries the scent of burnt wood. Sometimes you'll hear a song, low and wordless, like morning. And if you don't turn back, you might see her. A girl with mismatched eyes and hair like flame. She will not speak. But she will look at you. And you will feel what it means to be judged, not by fire, not by man, but by truth. Because Elira never wanted vengeance. She only wanted to be seen. And now, she is. Forever.